Hello everyone, it's Janine here with another arty video for you, promoting positive mental well-being. I'm a great believer in how art can really help us to relax and have a good time and get away from the busyness and stresses of life. So here I am drawing with some watercolour pencils. Use what you have, but mine are the Faber-Castell ones, but any watercolour pencils will do. Actually, it doesn't even need to be watercolour. I was just using watercolour because I knew that it would dissolve in with the next layer, but it wouldn't really matter. I think it will cover up anyway. So use what you have. And I decided to use this nice kind of oval shape piece of card here that I had. I think just kind of showing that you can, use what you have. I think I would have thought this was probably just like an offcut from something. So yeah, I kind of keep all sorts of different things until they might come in useful one day. And this week I'm using some gouache paints, and gouache is like an opaque watercolour, but again, use what you have. But if you are using watercolours, keep in mind that you may see whatever you used underneath to draw with. And equally, you could skip out that first step that I used to do the drawing. You don't necessarily need to do a drawing. Normally I would go straight ahead and just paint straight on, but I had a little bit more plan for this, so I just drew on some basic shapes just to kind of show me where different parts of my landscape, just to give me a bit of an idea, but you can adjust it as you go along anyway. So yeah, I'm just using some nice bright colours to paint my landscape. And this landscape is a very kind of stylised landscape. It's one that I've just thought up out of my head. It's kind of like my default, I think, when I don't know what to do with an art, just to come up with some kind of like landscapey type thing that I've just made up from out of my head. But I think maybe I've been thinking about it recently, how it's kind of like art is a way of being able to escape out of everyday lives, and making up a landscape that doesn't actually exist is kind of like a little dream world that one can take themselves to. I never tend to put people in my artwork, but I like how that then enables the viewer to be able to place themselves within the scene. So yeah, that's kind of the idea behind that. And so here you can see I'm just adding a bit of white into the green and mixing it on the paper. You could mix your colours beforehand, but I'm just working quite intuitively, and just as I went along I decided that I just wanted to push that green back a bit and just make it a little bit lighter. But work in the way that you prefer to work. There's no right or wrong within art. This is just the way that I enjoy working. And talking about like our default, if we're not sure what to do in art, kind of what we automatically would revert to, and mine at the moment anyway tends to be these kind of little landscapes made up out of my head. I was kind of wondering, what is your default that you like to do? If you have one, please do put it in the comments below. I would love to hear. I haven't done lots of work in gouache before, so we can kind of learn together. And I decided to use a normal paintbrush, because often as you've seen my videos before, I often use water brushes. But I thought if I use more of a normal paintbrush this week, then I can have a bit more control of how much water I'm adding. So I have my water pot off screen, but I am adding water to the gouache paint. I'm not adding excessive amounts because I am quite enjoying the bold and vibrant colours of the gouache. And that's kind of the look that I was going for in this painting. When I use watercolour, I tend to add quite a lot of water because I like the way that the paints flow into each other, but I was going for a different style with the gouache and just to see how it worked. But I feel like it's quite a different affect a watercolour, at least the way that I've used them, because it's given me these nice sort of bold blocks of colour, and that's kind of what I was going for. But yeah, you'll see more towards the end. And just to clarify, when I said normal paintbrush earlier, I did mean a watercolour brush. Watercolour brushes are fine for gouache. As I said, they're quite a similar medium, but gouache is opaque, so watercolour brushes will be suitable for this. Oh, and if you're wondering why there's random blobs of blue paint in the sky, at some point, which you may have noticed earlier, but I accidentally stuck my fingers in the blue paint for some reason. So, in order to not waste the paint, I just put it into the sky, and I knew I'd paint that bit in later. So, if you're kind of wondering why there's two random blobs of blue paint, then that's why. And now I'm painting over those blobs, so no need to worry about that. And you may have noticed when I was doing the pencil, watercolour pencil drawing bit earlier, I decided to divide up the sky. So you'll see that later, how I kind of paint the sky in different coloured sections. And I decided that I wanted to just divide up the bottom bit a little bit more, because the sky is quite divided, and the bottom wasn't as so I just added a triangle in there just to divide it up a bit, so kind of the idea of different fields and stuff. And yeah, and now I've gone back onto the sky. The way I paint is I tend to sort of skip around a bit, and as I go along. So when I painted that first bit of sky, I suddenly realised that I wanted to split the landscape up a bit, so I went back down to the landscape, and now I'm going up to the sky. It's just kind of like how my thought process goes. So yeah, you kind of see that as I'm painting. So yeah, I'm just painting different colours in, adding a little bit of purple into the sky as well as different shades of blue. This obviously isn't supposed to be a natural sky. It is very much stylized, but I love that within art, how we can interpret things as artists as we want to. And I love bringing some nice bold colour into my work, nice bright and happy looking painting, hopefully by the end of it, which will hopefully lift your mood as you're painting something like this. Using nice bright colours will hopefully help make you feel more cheerful. I do hope you're continuing watching this with me. I hope you're still with me and enjoying this. Yeah, and please do leave me a comment. I'd love to hear from you. And if you're enjoying this video, please do give it a like, and please do subscribe to my channel. As I said, I do lots of different art videos and some crafty ones as well, all trying to promote positive mental well-being. I believe that we all need to look after our mental health, whether whether we actually have anxiety or depression, or a particular mental health issue, or whether we just need to maintain a good level of mental health. I think it's good that we all think about that, and we kind of all think about our physical health, but often our mental health gets left to the sidelines, and it all needs looking after. And art is just one of the ways that some people find helpful, and I hope you do too, and that these videos inspire you to get creative. And like I always say, it's not about creating the perfect picture. It's about having some time to relax and spend it with yourself, and just get into a positive mind frame. Mind frame? I don't think that really makes sense. I meant positive frame of mind, but I'm sure you understood that. But anyway, there we go. So now I'm just painting in this kind of plant that I've got up the side. I just have that there to add a bit more interest into the picture. And I kind of went over some of my original pencil lines as the painting's gone along, so I'm just kind of adding it back in now. And as I'm doing different artworks and stuff, I often try and think about how the viewer will view the artwork and how the eye like travels around the piece of work. So I think having this kind of plant going up towards the sky kind of helps with the way that your eye moves around the picture. And now I'm using some Posca paint pens to add in some more like details and some kind of patternings into the different sections that I've created with the gouache. But you know, if you don't have Posca pens, you know, please just use what you have. You could even do this bit with some more paint. Maybe even colour pencil would work as well. It would perhaps be a little bit more subtle, but you know, it should work. So yeah, I'm just doing kind of different doodly things, it's a bit sort of Zentangle inspired here, just to, you know, add a bit more interest into my picture. As I said, you know, this isn't meant to be realistic, it's just a bit of fun, a little bit of a dream world. So yeah, I hope you enjoy it and it inspires you to do your own version. But you know, you could do this kind of thing with whatever kind of mediums you have at home. Even if, you know, you're using felt tips, you could do a similar kind of thing. And here is the final piece. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Bye for now.